Run out.
Okay. Good evening. Today is March 13th. This is the voting session of the Ways and Means Committee. Ways and Means Committee. I'm a little like punch drunk right now. So I just want to remind the committee that, folks, I just would like to remind the committee that we are in that period of time, which you all know, that you might not have the voting list and everything that goes along with it an hour or so beforehand, because we're waiting for subcommittees to finish. Then staff has to actually put everything together. We had technical frozen computer problems. So we're trying to get you the information as soon as possible. But as stuff is still churning through subcommittees, it's just not going to be as early as it normally is. And I know you all know that, so I appreciate your patience and your indulgence. And with that, we will go ahead and get started. House Bill 1319, and there are amendments, and I'll ask Madam Subcommittee Chair, do you mind if I take this one?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I will read through the amendments. So the motion, well, we'll do that in a minute. As amended, this bill, which is subject to a voter referendum, authorizes the State Lottery and Gaming Control Commission to issue licenses to certain qualified applicants to conduct and operate internet gaming in the state. There are two amendments. The amendments authorize the State Lottery and Gaming Control Commission to award internet gaming licenses to video lottery operators, certain sports wagering facility licenses, and certain qualified Maryland businesses, subject to certain limitations, and provide for the competitive award of certain licenses under certain circumstances. A video lottery operator would be able to apply for up to 3 internet gaming licenses if the video lottery operator partners with a social equity applicant who demonstrates ownership of at least 33% in a joint venture. If an entity to whom a license is allocated fails to apply for a license, the license is made available for a 2-round competitive application. The amendments also clarify the persons that must be licensed by the commission to participate in the internet gaming industry and prohibit the commission from issuing a license to applicants that knowingly accept revenue that is directly or indirectly derived from jurisdictions known for money laundering, designated as sponsors of terrorism, or in which online casino gaming is prohibited. The amendments impose a 20% tax on live dealer games and a 55% tax on all other internet gaming, and alters the definition of proceeds for purposes of determining the taxes due. The amendments alter the distribution of internet gaming proceeds to require certain distributions to recipients of certain local impact grants, the purse dedication account, the racetrack facility renewal account, and the small minority and women-owned business account. The amendments require internet gaming licenses to only authorize individuals who are at least 21 years of age to engage in internet gaming, to verify individuals' identities at the time of account creation, and to periodically re-verify account holders' identities. The amendments strengthen responsible gaming requirements for internet gaming licenses by prohibiting internet gaming licensees from accepting credit cards as payment, requiring account holders to establish limitations on deposits and play, and providing a cooling off period between a request to increase deposit limits and when that increase takes effect. The amendments require the commission to establish a voluntary exclusion list for individuals with gambling problems and prohibits an internet gaming licensee from allowing an individual on the exclusion list to establish an account or engage in internet gaming. Lastly, the amendments clarify and add reporting requirements for the commission and the Center of Excellence on Problem Gaming. An additional clarifying amendment will be necessary to ensure that certain proceeds are distributed to local school boards and those funds are correctly factored into the calculation for blueprint funding. And in addition, we heard concerns from video lottery operators regarding the requirement that live dealer studios for those license holders must be located at the video lottery facility. In order to provide those operators greater flexibility, I am proposing an amendment to require instead that those live dealer studios be located in the county in which the video lottery facility is located. And with that, I move the amendments and the proposed amendments. Any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendments signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, I move the bill favorable as amended. Discussion on the bill. Roll call on the bill. On the favorable as amended, Madam Vice Chair,
Yes.
Delegate Ebersol,
Yes.
Delegate Patterson,
Yeah.
Delegate Buckle,
No.
Delegate Wells is excused, Delegate Hornberger, Delegate Fair, Delegate Long, Delegate Young, Delegate Miller, Delegate Henson, Delegate Roberts, Delegate Grossman, Delegate Wims, Delegate Vogel, Delegate Wu, Delegate Hartman, Delegate Miracle North, Delegate Griffith, Delegate Attar, Delegate Plakovich Carr, Delegate Feldmark. The chair votes yes. House Bill 1319 passes favorably as amended. House Bill, yes, Delegate Wu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So personally, I don't support gambling, but I'm afraid of job losses, addiction issues, and some other social economic issues related to iGaming. However, I've been a really huge concern about the lack of funding for our education. So one reason I come to Annapolis is to support our education system, our students and our teachers. This bill put a dedicated funding to our blueprint and our education, which I really support. Eventually, this year's vote means that we put this issue in front of our voters for a referendum. I really trust our voters to make the informed decision at election time, the same way they elected me to this position 2 years ago. That's the reason I voted yes on this. Thank you.
Thank you. And to make sure, excuse me, goodness. For anyone listening, the vote that was taken was not a vote to implement internet gaming. It was ultimately will be decided by the people who will have to vote for it on a referendum during the election. House Bill 261, and there are amendments. Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 261, Unemployment Insurance Benefits Election Judges. This is a bill that is joint with the Economic Matters Committee. We are secondary on this bill. What the bill does is it prohibits an election judge's compensation from being subtracted from their unemployment benefits, and it prohibits denial of unemployment benefits because an individual is unavailable to work due to service as an election judge. The amendments prohibit election judge compensation from being subtracted from an individual's unemployment benefits. So in summary, this bill advances our work around recruitment and retention of election judges, and it helps to ensure that they are not harmed when it comes to unemployment insurance due to their work as an election judge. I move the amendments.
Discussion on the amendments, Delegate Hornberger.
Madam Chair, so each week, folks that are receiving unemployment benefits have to certify not only if they've had income, but also that they're seeking work and all these other things. So in terms of the mechanics, are they going to disclose the income and then somehow denote that it's exempt? Or are they going to not disclose the income?
Mr. Ward, you can clarify that.
Honestly, I don't know the specifics of how it would work, but it would not be subtracted from their benefits. And they would not be denied benefits because they were unavailable to work due to service as election judge. But I don't know the specific answer to your question.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
Oh.
Madam Vice.
Oh, they are, okay. Delegate Plakovich Carr said that they are required to disclose it. It just wouldn't count against them.
Thank you.
Thank you to the bill sponsor. We are not an unemployment insurance committee, but on the election judges side, I'm happy to answer any questions on that side.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended.
Move favorable as amended.
Any discussion? Okay, House Bill 261 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 333, and there are amendments, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. House Bill 333, election law, election disinformation on large social media platforms and influence related to voting. Colleagues, I do want to mention that this bill has been completely changed since its introduction. So you can disabuse yourself of any of the original intents and language of the bill. What this bill does is that it requires, as amended, it requires that the State Board of Elections creates a portal on their website for the public to use to report election disinformation. SBE has to periodically review the materials submitted and has to issue corrective information as needed or refer to the state prosecutor if that is needed as well. The definition of election disinformation in the bill is incorrect or misleading information regarding the time, place, or manner of an election, election results, or voting rights in the state. The amendments, once again, reformat the bill into the version that I've just described. I move the bill amendments.
Any discussion on the amendments? Delegate Buckle.
What is the penalty if the State Board of Elections determines that someone makes some type of election disinformation communication?
Thank you. That's a great question. What the bill charges them with is issuing corrections. So this is not a bill where it's, you said this incorrect thing, now we're gonna penalize you. This is about them taking corrective action. Now, if it rises to the level of the state prosecutor, there are specific types of offenses like violations of voter fraud, bribery, forcing someone or threatening them on how they should vote that actually rise to the level of the state prosecutor. So that would be referred there, but those are higher
They
level.
already exist.
Yes,
right?
those already exist.
So this isn't creating any new groundwork for someone to refer for criminal prosecution. These things would already be potentially criminally prosecuted. Maybe it's providing a website portal where someone would disseminate the information, but it's not creating any new classifications of crime, doesn't create any type of new financial penalty. And when you say like you have an opportunity to remedy, so for example, the day before the election, someone posted something on Facebook and said, all of the voting centers in Tacoma Park are out tomorrow. They've all been flooded. No one can vote in Tacoma Park. You'd really have no way of remedying that overnight the next day. By the time the complaint came in, you would be doing. What would the penalty be for something like that?
Correct. So in that specific situation, the purpose of the bill is that when you see that is incorrect information, you want to make sure that my residents of Tacoma Park have the fair access to voting.
Vote Wilkins.
You would put, I like that. You would put that into the portal. And if the Board of Elections saw that, they are required to take corrective action. So they should then put something out in all of the ways that they can to say, actually, this is how the voting is taking place. So I don't believe that would necessarily rise to the level of the state prosecutor.
Right.
Because again, those are things like violations of fraud, bribery, and things like that. So the purpose would be that SBE would be aware of it because it came in as a complaint, where otherwise they may or may not have heard about that situation, and that they would try to take corrective action on it to the extent possible.
Thank you. Clarification.
Delegate Wu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I remember the last time when we talked about the bill, said there's a freedom of speech issue. Now this change clear that hurdle, right?
Correct. This is not about freedom of speech at all. And as I mentioned, under the bill, it specifies exactly what we mean when we say election disinformation. So it's incorrect or misleading information about the time, the place, or the manner of an election, election results or voting rights in the state. And once again, the purpose of this is so that SBE can know about that misleading information and put out corrections.
I see. It's really focused on the election itself, not a candidate. For example, if somebody said that Barco like support education, right? The half truth. How do we handle that situation?
In that situation, if someone, so first of all, someone have to submit a complaint in the
I
portal.
see.
And SBE would determine if they need to issue a correction. That doesn't, I don't think that SBE is going to be getting involved in those types of things about candidates, because that's
see.
also
Okay.
not about the time, place, manner of an election or the election results or voting rights. So that in that case, SBE would not be weighing in into correction.
How about the other situation? Like we know the election itself sometimes takes a long time to close after election because of the mail-in ballot, right? Some candidate will say, I win the election, even the vote has not closed, has not finished yet. What did that situation fall in?
You said if the person.
The candidate say, I win.
I won.
Yeah, but the count has not finished yet, right?
Sure. Well, I think two things. One, a voter is going to be declared, hopefully soon after that in the coming days and weeks. So that would help clear it up. The second thing is that if there was a complaint that came in through the portal, again, that gives SBE the opportunity to say, in the delegate race of Delegate Wu, a winner has not been declared yet. So that again is an opportunity for SBE to become aware of any situations and if needed to issue correct information. So this bill is about facts, making sure that we're hearing from SBE about the facts and that we are turning our voters towards SBE in terms of what the facts are.
I think, thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, can't remember. All in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we did already have a discussion, but is there any more discussion on the bill as amended? Motion on the bill is amended? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Delegate Wims?
I voted aye, but I want to know, can we do a me too on this since it's amended or?
Yes, but we have
Oh.
opposed, raise your
Oh,
hand,
I'm
please.
sorry.
Yes, opposed to the bill. So the noes, Haley, are delegates Buckle, delegates Long, delegates Miller, delegates Grossman, delegate, are you a no? Okay, delegate Hartman, delegate Griffith. The bill, delegate Hornberger. Bill passes favorably as amended. Okay, please raise your hand if you are a me too on the bill. Delegate Madam Vice Chair, Delegate Wims, Delegate Vogel, Delegate Wu. Madam Vice Chair.
I should have added at the beginning, and to thank the speaker, this is a bill that's part of her decency agenda. So I'm excited that our committee is voting this out and working to support that agenda. So,
Then me too.
no,
Eversol too. Do you want your? Okay, Eversol and Young. Anyone else? Me too? Okay,
don't try to me too now. I just want to get y'all know.
I just want to circle back. I thought I asked for a vote on this, but someone said I didn't. So circling back to House Bill 261, ECM is primary, but the motion was for a favorable as amended. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, so that passes favorably as amended. House Bill 916, Delegate Attar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 916 is a Garrett County local bill that alters the county hotel rental tax to include online short-term rental platforms, and it strengthens enforcement of the tax. I move the bill.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? House Bill 916 passes favorably. House Bill 1076, and there are amendments. Delegate Palakovich-Carr.
Madam Chair,
As amended, this bill requires local boards of education to, by March 15th of each year, determine the instructional materials that will be used in the upcoming school year for students with IEPs or 504 plans. A local board of education must coordinate with the Instructional Resources Center to provide the instructional materials in a specialized format to students who are blind or visually impaired no later than the first day of classes of the upcoming school year. If the local board is unable to fulfill these requirements, they must work with the parents of the student to develop a plan to remedy the situation within 45 days. The bill also requires that the local board requires in each contract with a publisher of People Edition textbooks that the publisher provide an electronic file to the center, and for MSDE, local boards and the IRC to enter into a memorandum of understanding to facilitate the process. Finally, the bill requires that IRC report to MSDE on various information about requests for instructional materials. And the amendments are basically the bill as amended, as I just described. So move the amendments.
Okay, any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1076 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 1237, and there are amendments. Delegate Plakovich Carr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill establishes the task force to study the Maryland online special education system and provides for membership of the task force. The amendments expand the task force scope to include both the Maryland Online Individualized Education Program and the Maryland Online Individualized Family Service Plan. Move the amendments.
Any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended. Any discussion? Uncle said there's a sponsor problem. Is it? Okay, well, we gotta vote. We gotta vote it first. Don't clap. Yeah, we gotta vote. Right.
I have some questions.
All in favor of House Bill 1237 as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Oh, Delegate Long. Okay. It was unanimous. Yay. Your first one, and it's a really good bill, so. Okay, raise your hand if you would like me too. Okay, me too, Delegate, Madam Vice Chair. Oh, we're doing me too's. Oh, that's you. I'm looking at Stan. Okay. Madam Vice Chair, Delegate Eversole, Delegate Patterson. Okay, it's everybody. Except everybody, me too. All right, everybody. Okay, House Bill 1503, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1503, Election Law Campaign Finance Activities, State Treasurer. We heard this bill today. It simply adds the State Treasurer to the list of officials who cannot receive or solicit contributions or conduct a fundraising event or deposit contributions during the legislative session. This bill has no amendments and I move favorable.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1503 passes favorably. I know, she passed a bill 3 bills ago, but yeah. Hey.
I only had 2.
Pays to know the treasurer. House Bill 186. Delegate Attar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill authorizes Eastern Shore Code counties to increase the hotel rental tax rate from 5% to 6%. Move the bill, and for the record, this is an authorizing tax increase by Delegate Hartman.
Oh. Basically. Okay, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. House Bill 186 passes favorably. We will be voting tomorrow and we will be voting Friday. Stay nimble. Tomorrow's probably double sessions. Same with Friday. Okay, thank you very much.